Hello, everyone, and welcome to another live class through the Homeschool Quest. Thank you so much, Randi Smith from Peanut Butter Fish Lessons, for joining us here today. I'm really excited to go over the trivia on energy because this is a topic I actually haven't dived that much into, so I think we're all going to be learning a lot today. If you guys haven't had a chance to check out the Homeschool Quest magazine and the giveaway that we're running, I'm going to go ahead and drop a link in the comments so that you guys can go check out those amazing giveaways and the magazine.
And I was going to say, I learned a lot creating this trivia game, so we're all learning here. Are
That's
you ready
awesome.
for me to go ahead more?
Yeah, I think that I'm going to go
Okay.
ahead and drop the links for the magazine and the giveaway, and then uh, let's get into the trivia.
All right. Well, I was going to explain how this became a topic. So in August, we ran a drawing on our website, and we had 3 winners, and each one got to pick their own customized mini unit study. So I had the first winner, a young man wanted a nuclear weapons unit study, which is kind of up here. The house is a little bit over the picture of that one. And I realized to get to nuclear weapons, we had to learn about nuclear power first. So I kind of made 2 unit studies. And then I've had other people be like, do you have anything about nuclear power? So I was like, this should be what September's class is about. So that is how we got here. And Amelia and I have not talked yet, but in November, I was thinking we could do a drawing during the class here and do another customized mini unit study for those that attend November's class. So anyway, Amelia and I will talk about that more later.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
I think it will be. Our next one is kookaburras was our next family that wanted one. So you just never know when you ask people what they want a unit study about, what you will get. So all right, so let's get started. Energy, the word energy means lots of different things. Okay, so today we are talking about energy that comes to your home in the form of electricity or to heat your home. So, what do we use electricity for in our homes? We run all our appliances, our refrigerators, our dishwashers, sometimes our stove, sometimes not. We run our electronics, our computers, our TVs, right? We light up our homes with electricity. Some homes are heated by electricity, and then lots of homes are cooled by electricity with air conditioning. So, we all like electricity, don't we? So today, let's learn different ways that electricity is created and delivered to our homes. So before we go down the whole road of electricity, there is another common type of energy supplied to people's homes to heat them. So I'm wondering if you know what that might be. What might heat half of the homes in the US? Now, you see this cute dog here, and you might be thinking that blankets are the way we heat ourselves, but that's not what I'm looking for. So, do you think half the homes in the US are heated from propane, wood fires, natural gas, or oil? So I'm not sure I can see comments, Amelia. So if anybody guesses, let me know.
I will let you know. So I'm going to guess that it is C, natural gas.
All right.
And we got Nicole Perry Brown. She also guesses C. And I don't look at the answers beforehand, so you have to
Nope.
make your own guesses.
Amelia has
uh,
no idea what's in here.
it makes it fun. So we've got Jennifer Drescher. She says A, but with a question mark. And
Okay.
Trista um, Blandauer says oil. So that would be D.
All right.
So we have successfully guessed everything. We've
All
got another
right.
person
I'm
who
just
says
seeing if I can get to
Sarit
the comments online.
says C. Let's see, I can
All
give you
right. So
the.
we got a couple C's. All right. I've got the comments. Okay. I've got them pulled up online, so I think I can see people's. All right. So Many of you are correct. It is natural gas. So here you can see almost half
Wow.
of homes are heated from natural gas and another 40% are from electricity. So between those two, that's how most of our homes are heated. And kids, if you've got a stove in your house that looks like this on top, then your house is probably heated by natural gas. And even if you don't, you might still be heated by natural gas. But if you see this, this is a gas stove. So that is what we're talking about when we say natural gas. All right, so we'll talk about different ways that electricity is made, but once it's made, it's sent all over the country, and we have a word for this whole system of sending electricity everywhere. It's a four-letter word, and I want to see if anybody can guess what it is. And if we need a hint, like a first letter or something, I will give you a hint. I'll give you a few minutes to respond. Do you have a first letter you're thinking of, Amelia?
No, I can't think of a four-letter word that it could be. I'm sure it's super simple.
Okay.
I'm stumped.
Okay. And this could be one of those things that's like different in different parts of the country, like one of
Mm.
those words that's kind of like a dialect. So we will see. All right. I'm going to give you all a hint. It starts with a G. So this is the system of sending electricity everywhere. And it's probably familiar to me because we got solar panels last year, and our solar panels are plugged into this instead of us being completely self-sufficient.
Oh, I'm
You know
guessing
what
that
I'm
the
talking
word.
about now, don't
I
you?
know, I do. um, yep,
Oh, yep, and
we
Nicole
got it.
does too.
Yeah, we like it was like when you said that we were like plugged in. Oh, I know what it is.
Yes. All right. So the word is grid. And there's actually this map of the different grids. Can everybody see this slide thing? Is Texas covered for everyone? Well, if you are seeing what I'm seeing, no, maybe you're good. Can you see that Texas is or green?
Yeah, I can see all
Okay,
of this.
for me, operating the left back and forward was Grant. So here is our grids in the United States. So it's not just one big grid over the whole country, it's divided up. And what this means is there's lots of different power companies in these grids plugged into the same lines. And they can kind of back each other up if one's having trouble. So that's what these grids are about here. And Texas likes to do its own thing down there with its power. So they have a very interesting kind of electric grid down there. And they have lots of different ways they create electricity there. So, all right, let's move on. So, first, energy is created at a generating station before it's sent out into the grid. And so, a lot of the time, not always, a lot of the time, there is a moving fluid that is used to turn something that looks like a fan. Okay, so here and here, you see how something would turn these, right? And then that's going to generate the electricity. So does anybody know what these would all be called? One word for all of these. And I can give hints if we need them.
I'm going to guess that it's called a turbine.
Okay. Does anybody think Amelia's correct?
It looks like we have Katie Bishop also believes it is a turbine.
You are both correct. It is a turbine. And I did turn this picture here. And does this remind you of anyone? Kids, have you ever seen something that looks like this? When you've been maybe at like a living history museum or something?
Yeah, it kind of looks like a water wheel.
Like at a sawmill or something? So, same
Yeah.
idea. You're using something to turn a wheel or a turbine. All right. So, There are several ways to create electricity, as I've said. So, which one do you think is the most common way in the US? Do you think it's natural gas, which we talked about helping heat homes? Do you think it's coal? Do you think it's nuclear power that creates the most electricity, or do you think it's renewables? And we'll get into what renewable means in a little bit, but for now, windmills, water, or solar. So which of these four do you think is the most common?
I'm going to say A. I think that it's natural gas. Again.
And we got two
Um.
C's,
Oh,
three C's.
I'm so outvoted.
Um, and it's probably people are thinking what is most common near them, but that doesn't mean necessarily the
Hmm.
whole country. So, all
I'm like
right.
super outvoted.
You are super outvoted, but guess what, Amelia? You
Hmm.
were correct.
Oh, that's crazy.
I know. I didn't realize that either. So I started doing this research. So for kids, in case like you see percentages and you're like, math, just think of it as you have five houses. All right. And two of those houses, their electricity comes from natural gas, one house from coal, one house from nuclear, and one house from renewables. That's all that means. Okay. So where does natural gas come from? Anybody know? Do you think it means that animals are passing gas after they eat and we use that for electricity? Do you think there's a mineral in the ground called gasite? Do you think we find it in trees like sap? Or do you think it comes from plants and animals decaying for a very long time under pressure and heat? What do you think? Where does natural gas come from?
Nicole says she thinks that it is D. What do the rest of you
Okay,
guys think?
another
Crystal, hi.
D.
Yeah, it looks
Okay, we
like
got
everyone's guessing
three
D. I'm
Ds.
also guessing D as well.
All right, look at how smart you all are. All right, plants and animals decaying for a very long time under pressure and heat makes natural gas. Very good. All right, so back here, those four choices I gave you for the most, we know all of them are used for electricity, right? So let's go through them. We're going to go to coal. So coal is formed in a similar way as natural gas, but there's one difference. What do you think it is? Do you think coal only comes from animals? That coal forms faster than natural gas? That coal only comes from plants? Or that coal forms from pressure but not heat? What would be the difference between coal and natural gas?
I'm going to guess D.
D?
Yeah, it looks
Okay.
like Nicole and Katie also have guessed D, and so has Trista
All right.
and Crystal, who
All
all
right,
guessed
you're all jumping on the same one, but you're not correct. Coal forms
really.
faster, which doesn't mean fast, in the
Mm,
scheme of, life, but it does form faster than the natural gas. That is the difference.
that's very
All right.
interesting.
So we're going to deep dive into nuclear in a few minutes. We're going to skip over that for now. So, what does the word renewable mean when we're talking about renewable energy? Does it mean it's a new energy source that we did not have 50 years ago? Does it mean it's an energy source that will never run out? Does it mean humans can make more of the energy source? Or does it mean the energy source is replenished or filled back up at a faster rate than it is used up? So, what do you think renewable means? You might want to have a discussion at home about the prefix re and what that means and how that might help you figure out the meaning.
So we've got one B, one D. I'm gonna say it really is between those two for me. I'm gonna say that it's D.
Okay. Waiting to see if anybody else has a guess.
Hi, Sherry. Haven't seen you here yet.
All
Thanks
right,
for
we
joining us.
got a good number of D's and a B. So, B would be nice, right? An energy source that will never run out. That would be comforting. But unfortunately, that is not the case. It is that it's being replenished at a faster rate than it's used. Okay, so kids, if you think you have a water jug on your counter and you come and you get yourself a glass of water, and every now and then mom fills up that water or dad, okay, and as long as they're filling it up faster than you're taking water out of it, you don't run out of water, right? So that's what a renewable energy source is. It's getting filled back up faster than we're using it up. So let's talk about three different renewable sources. So one is water. So when you hear hydroelectric power, hydro means water. Okay. So when we're talking about power made from water, and remember this is water that's going to push those turbines we looked at to make electricity. Where do you think that water is coming from? Do you think it's coming from the ocean? Do you think it has to do with the flow of the river? Do you think it's coming from large dams? Or do you think it has to come from waterfalls? So where is most of it, not all of it, most of it coming from?
I'm going to say C, large dams, because that's been my experience with hydroelectric power in my area. So it's like most people I think, well, no, we've got
We're a
somebody
little
guessing
all
each
over the
one.
place.
It makes it fun. Somebody's going to be right.
And honestly, I was surprised by this because of my experience where I grew up. I thought it was something different. So it's very much going to be colored by what your experience has been. All right. So before I flip it, I will tell you, I thought it was flow of rivers because I grew up near Niagara Falls. There's big electric plants along the river there because the flow is very strong. But for most of the country, it is large dams. And so this is a dam, and all that means is it holds back water. So you can see here that they open, I call them gates, I don't know what they're really called. You know, they just have one gate open here, letting water flow through and so that causes this water to flow very fast because it's all being pushed just through one area. And then you can use that flow to turn some turbines. They can control it with the dam. All right, so there's windmills in different places. Again, some places have more than others. Where I live, I don't know that I've ever seen a windmill around us, but when we travel, we have seen some. Seen them in Ohio and upstate New York. If you have windmills in your area, feel free to tell us where. But in the meantime, how many windmills do you think are in the US right now? About. Do you think it's about 700? 7,000, 70,000, or 700,000?
I'm going to say that I think that it's C. I think it's 70,000. What do you guys think?
All right, it looks like 70,000 is the most picked, although we definitely have 7,000. It is about 70,800. And if you want to see a map of where they are, you can Google US wind turbine database. And you'll get a map that you can actually interact with. So this is hard to see, but you can zoom in on the map. So these green areas you see have lots of windmills. See, we're down here. See, we have nothing. And then these little blue ones, there's some windmills, not as many as in the green area. So if that interests you, go ahead and Google that and find that map.
Yeah,
All
there
right,
was
so we
an
did water.
actual
Go ahead.
like they actually had to like close off part of the highway for like a few hours while they were transporting one of the like windmill
Oh,
blades uh, in Idaho. So and I saw like the pictures of it. They're so much bigger than you would think. Far
right.
away in the field, they're huge.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine at that level it would look huge. All right, so we've done water, wind, and we have sunlight to do. Okay, so this is different. This is not going to be turning turbines, but solar panels can turn sun into electricity. So here's a question for you. If we could capture all the sunlight all over the world for an hour and a half, I don't know, we just have solar panels everywhere. We capture it all. How long would that supply the whole world's energy needs? So do you think it'd be just like 1.5 hours in, 1.5 hours out? Do you think we could make it last a week, a month, a year? What do you think?
So like the whole surface is this like if it was all solar panels?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna guess 1 year.
I think someone has guessed every letter. We have no idea, right? That's fine. It is 1 year. Isn't that crazy to think how much energy we could get from the sun if we could harness it all? Without, obviously, you don't want to block out the sun from the whole earth to harness all the electricity. But here you see what's called a solar farm. So you just have a bunch of panels rather than being on someone's house, like here. So, but I know there's pros and cons to this because a lot of people don't feel this is a good use of land in certain areas. Obviously, you have to have a lot of land to have a solar farm. So, all right. So, to review, our electricity, 2 out of 5 houses coming from natural gas, and that is the plants and animal decaying over many, many, many years. 1 out of 5 houses is coal, also plants and animals decaying, not quite as long. 1 out of 5 is nuclear, which we're going to learn about in a minute. And then 1 out of 5 are the renewables, the wind, the water, and the solar. And you know what I didn't have you put in the comments is the link. So right now we're going to do this listening to learn here, and you're going to need colored pencils. And if your kids need a stretch right now, it's a good time to do it. You could even use your arms and pretend you are a turbine and spin around, create energy. Um, I'm gonna get the
Do you
link
want to
real
send me that
quick.
link or do you want to post it?
I don't, oh, I could post it through Facebook. All right, so, well, let's see. Yes, let me post it. Okay, so if you go here, it's a paid product, but if you look in the second paragraph, there is an orange link to just this part of the product, and you can go ahead and download it if you have not done that already. So I'm going to give you all like 1 minute. You're going to want one of these printed out for everybody who's going to do the listening and the drawing and the coloring. And then I'm going to read through this part that comes with it. Maybe put ready in the comments if you are all ready. I don't want to make you all wait if you all had this ready when we started.
This is a good time for me to give a shout out to the giveaway that we're running right now. Um, Randi is actually giving away her Ultimate U.S. Territories bundle. That is a $19 value in the giveaway. So if you really enjoy the peanut butter fish lessons, you are definitely going to enjoy this giveaway and the second to fifth grade bundle. It is worth $258 value with all of the different amazing prizes that we have in the giveaway. So If you guys haven't checked that out, be sure to do so after this live video.
And you have more than just the elementary school one, right? Aren't there
Yes,
3 different prizes?
we have a pre-K to first bundle that is a $383 value, a middle to high school bundle that is a $233 value, and a grand prize of a 6-month access for one student to Lone Star Homeschool Academy that is a $600 value. So we have about, I would say, $1,500, give or take, in prizes. So
Nice.
a lot to be able to win. And so we're going to be having 4 different winners. So there's actually quite a few chances for you to be able to win.
Good. And if you like our listening to learn, there are 10 of them, I believe, in the US territory bundle, because there's 2 for each of the 5 territories in the US that have residents on them. And I think we did one of those in a class earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
Here, or we did the overview. So actually there's 11. All right, I'm just seeing one ready, but I think we're gonna start. I'm hoping other people are ready and just didn't type it. All right, you need your sheet of paper, you need some colored pencils, and I will read each direction 2 times. So here's number 1. Have you ever thought about where your electricity comes from? We can all say yes from today, right? Today we are going to learn about nuclear power, which is how 20% of the power in the United States is created. Write 20% of electricity in the US below the words nuclear power. Now, if that's hard for you to write, if you're just learning to write, then you could just write 20. Okay, underneath the words nuclear power. So if you want to write the whole sentence, it's write 20% of electricity in the US below the words nuclear power. And this listening to learn was created more for like 4th to 8th grade, so it's a little harder than some of ours, but there's always ways to include younger kids. You just make it a little simpler. All right, number 2. You may have seen a nuclear reactor when you've been traveling somewhere. This is where nuclear power is created. Color the 2 towers on your paper gray and the steam coming out of them very light gray. So color the 2 towers on your paper gray and the steam coming out very light gray. And if I get ahead of you and you're still coloring, you can catch up later, or you could just pause on that picture and come back to it at the end. All right, now let's learn some of the steps involved in making nuclear power. The word nuclear refers to the nucleus of atoms. So the circle with all the dots in the upper left corner of the picture is a uranium atom. So write atom above it. And atom is spelled A-T-O-M. And atoms are the simplest building blocks of which all matter in the world is made from. So above the circle with all the dots in the upper left corner of the picture is a uranium atom. Write atom above it. Again, that's A-T-O-M, not like the name atom. In the center of the atom is the nucleus, where the protons and neutrons of an atom live. Color the nucleus red and blue. A uranium atom has 92 protons and 143 neutrons. We're not going to color each individual one, just give it some red and blue. So color the nucleus blue and red. Uranium is the element used most in creating nuclear energy. Write uranium below the atom. I'll spell it for you in case you need help. uranium. So write uranium below the atom. Energy is created by splitting this nucleus into two or more smaller nuclei. And this process is called nuclear fission. The picture in the bottom left corner shows this happening. Write nuclear fission below it. Fission is spelled F-I-S-S-I-O-N. So the picture in the bottom left corner shows nuclear fission. Write nuclear fission below it. The sphere on the left of this picture is a neutron. This collides with the nucleus and causes the nucleus to split. Color the sphere on the left green and write neutron below it. Neutron is spelled N-E-U-T-R-O-N. So color the sphere on the left green and write neutron below it. The three spheres that are released during this collision are more neutrons, and they will collide with other atoms. Color those three spheres green. Be 1, 2, and 3. The three spheres that are released during this collision are more neutrons, and they will collide with other atoms. Color those three spheres green. Each time a nucleus splits, energy is created. Color the area around the arrows orange and write energy near them. So each time a nucleus splits, energy is created. Color the area around the arrows orange and write energy near them. This energy creates heat. Color the fire below the pot orange and write heat. This energy creates heat. Color the fire below the pot orange and write heat. The heat is used to boil water and create steam. Color the pot black and write steam next to the wavy lines above it. The heat is used to boil water and create steam. Color the pot black and write steam next to the wavy lines above it. Do you all remember what that thing is called above the steam? The steam is used to turn a turbine. Write turbine above the structure that looks like a fan with 3 blades. And as a reminder, turbine is spelled T-U-R-B-I-N-E. So the steam is used to turn a turbine. Write turbine above the structure that looks like a fan with 3 blades. All right, I'm just going to review really quick. So that neutron came and split the nucleus apart. And this kept going on. More neutrons left and split more nuclei, which caused heat, which boiled the water and made steam, which turned the turbine. All right. And the turbine is linked to a generator that uses this movement to create electricity. Right generator above the building to the right of the towers. The turbine is linked to a generator that uses this movement to create electricity. Right generator above the building to the right of the towers. It's kind of like a Rube Goldberg machine. If you think about it, it's like this happens, so this happens, so this happens. All right, the electricity is then sent out through the electrical grid to homes, businesses, and more. Trace the wires on the electric tower on the right side of your paper yellow and color the tower silver. So trace the wires on the electric tower on the right side of your paper yellow and color the tower silver. Now, one more thing that we need to remember. So it's important to know that radiation is also released during nuclear fission. So it's not just heat, it's also radiation is released. And this can be harmful to people. So it is captured inside of the nuclear reactor until it can be disposed of properly. So the symbol on the nuclear reactor warns you that there is radiation inside. Color the circle yellow and the other 4 shapes black. So that is the symbol on the nuclear reactor tower. And it warns you that there is radiation inside. Color the circle yellow and the other 4 shapes black. And once you are done, you can tell me in the comments if anything surprised you today that you learned, or something that was really interesting, or even something you're wondering. I might have raised questions about electricity. And Amelia, we have a question about when your live classes are. Do you hear me, Amelia?
I do now.
Okay, I think you might have been frozen for a minute. I said that there's a question about when your live classes are in the comments there.
Oh, I will reply. Thank you.
You're welcome.
They just wanted to
Did
know, like, if
any?
we have classes online every day, and we actually have them almost every Tuesday. And we also have a recording of all of our past live classes that you can go through.
That's true. And if you liked this and you want to learn more about nuclear power, you can go to that link where I had the free sample and the whole unit study. So in your sample, you have the table of contents of the whole unit study, and you can look at that. And that is just $2. And then I'm going to put the nuclear weapons one, which is a little more history that builds on the science. And that is also just $2 and is good for 4th to 8th graders. So And if you're not familiar with us, we have a free mini unit study every week that are more seasonal. I'm going to get this week's
Yeah,
and
I've
put
been seeing
that in.
them posting. They seem like a lot of fun.
This week, we're doing hurricanes. And then next week, we're going to be doing apple trees. And we're going to be talking a little bit more about Johnny Appleseed. So the fall ones go through like the Sunday before Thanksgiving, the week of Thanksgiving. Then we're going to shift over to more December holidays for our mini unit studies. Did anybody have any questions or need any directions repeated?
Thank you so much, guys, for joining us today. I learned a lot about energy today, so that's been a lot of fun. Thank you, Randy, for putting this together and hosting this live class.
Well, thanks for co-hosting.
All right, we'll see you again very soon. Bye.
Bye.